Welcome back to my channel. I'm exhausted. I asked you guys on Instagram what video I should film next, and you lovely ladies responded, and you said, if you're not following my Instagram, WID, you know what I mean? What are you doing? I don't understand that mentality whatsoever. I have to check what you guys said, but most of you guys were like, film a video on business or spirituality related topics. She's loading right now, and so let me see what you guys said. I also have not gotten any sleep, so sorry, this is a vlog, by the way. I have not gotten any sleep, and I have not had coffee yet today. Step by step, how you set up your business. Aliens, talk about aliens. Spiritual warfare, ally with higher energy rather than lower, use lower energies instead of being used. Ooh, that's a good one. Char, thank you so much. I'm gonna do that one first. Your YouTube readings are unbelievable. It's like you're stalking me and just upload your personal readings online. People ask me how I channel. First I have to be in a meditative state. Like, I can't just like channel, you know, like I have to be like tapped in, and I have to be in a receptive like mode, and I have to be in like a loving state of energy, and then I can channel. And it's just really tapping into collective energy. Like, it's not me. I'm not doing it. It's not me. Like, the messages are not coming from me, you know. I'm not that like profound, I promise. Like, I really don't think. I'm just a girl, you know what I mean? Energy reading in the rain. That would be so nice. Unfortunately, it's 90,000 degrees today. Hello, like I was almost gonna say my location, but I'm not gonna do that. Do something magical or something that feels magical. I thought you were born on the cusp of magic, and then the Gemini Cancer symbols. I am a Gemini Cancer cusp. Thank you so much, Angel of Sound, for realizing that. Let me see what else. Do a reading. When will you upload more readings? Do a channel message. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do the one that Char suggested. So, how to ally with higher energies rather than lower energies, and how to use lower energies instead of being used. Okay. I love this one. So basically, when it comes to like working with energies, there are spirits. Okay, so there are spirits of, I'm not going to edit this video, by the way, because I'm sick and tired of editing videos. This is just a one B-roll, you know what I mean? Just one huge B-roll. So basically, when it comes to like using lower energies, you can do so really, really easily if you harness like spirits of a lower vibration. So like, let's say the spirit of anger, that's one of them. The spirit of depression, that's another one, right? You can use these in a really productive way if you create something with it. So I'll give you an example that's personal to me. So my anger that I used to have, because I've been through some stuff in my life, and I used to have anger, right? Before I healed all that and cleared it out. So when I was going through like the dark night of the soul, and I was like really very angry most of the time and depressed and like riding those lower frequencies, I was more productive behind the scenes in terms of strategizing what I wanted to do for my business, where I wanted to be. There was a lot of thinking. There was a lot of thinking and scintillating and ruminating and meditating as well. And you can use your emotions to create anything that you want. So our emotions are very, very powerful. So I would use anger to produce certain things. So I would use my anger to like work out, you know what I mean? I would use my anger to, and these are like very basic things, you know? Now if you want to talk about like other lower density frequencies, we can go there briefly. So personally, I work with the angelic realm, and I work with God, and I stick to God. Okay, so like there's nothing else that I really condone or believe in or appreciate or anything like that. But in my years of spiritual study, you know, you can ask all types of powers for information, and they will give it to you. You can ask them for anything, but you have to understand that there's always a trade that happens as well. And so when I say lower density frequencies, I'm just talking about like, you have to understand that the earth is of that quality. So there are spirits of nature that you can tap into, you know, for example, like earth itself, right? Water, different places on planet Earth, different places in time on planet Earth. So you tap into history, right? So you can travel anywhere you want, and you can seek out information from different sources, basically, as long as you are rooted in the highest and you are stable in your Merkaba, which is your vessel for transportation, your light vessel, your light body. So this is how to um become very good at this is how to become a master, basically, at all of the levels of existence that exist. um it's to be a master of the self, of the soul. So you attain this level when you pass through multiple, at least from my experience, multiple dark nights of the soul, multiple awakenings, multiple transformations, you know. You don't just like do things without knowing what you're doing, number one. Number two, you don't just become like a mage or like a master teacher or like a somebody who is like skilled in all different types of knowledge. You don't just get there just by research or study or what is it, curiosity. Curiosity killed the cat. It'll kill you too, because if you're not prepared for certain things that you will delve into within the psyche, within the consciousness, you can actually like lose your mind. You can actually, you know, go insane a little bit, because it's Carl Jung talks about this a lot. It's a very deep not maze, labyrinth that we hold, that we carry within our subconscious mind. So exploring it takes years, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes the need and the want to continue, the desire, the courage, the bravery to continue. And you will see many things, both within yourself first and then outside of yourself. And it can really scare a lot of people. It can send people into psychosis. It can be damaging to you, you know. So I would not encourage anybody to try anything without preparation first, or without careful self-study and essentially the motivation of, okay, I'm doing this to learn more about God and to learn more about self. That's it, you know, because like that's what I went to all of this with. And that's what got me to the other side of like being learned and like a lot of different things. But it was always like, okay, me and God, you know. It wasn't like, okay, I'm gonna like try this and, oh, what's magic, and oh, like what's energy work. Like, no, I wasn't interested in any of those things, but they presented themselves and they came to me along me walking the path, you know. They like attached themselves to me. All these different like schools of thought and theory too, they were revealed to me as I went through my own like mystery schools and stuff, ultimately on the journey to God and to understanding who God is. So, and then by definition understanding who I am, you know. So working with lower powers and higher powers and all of those things are not of any like interest to me personally, because I derive my messages from source. I stick to source. He can take any manifestation that he wants to, and I will always like relay it and relate it back to him. And this is a far-fetched theory, and you don't have to agree with me, and you can hate on me for this, that's fine. But personally, I believe that God is one, right? So God is all. So there's nothing that exists that is not him. So even the devil, okay, in Christian philosophy, theory, and religion, and Catholicism as well, is presented as the enemy of God, or like the antithesis to God, right? But God is all. So, you know, why would you think that, you know, God is not more powerful than anything that he has created? No, he is above anything that is subordinate to him, which is everything, you know, because he created everything. So like I don't necessarily believe in not God, because there are no two powers, there's only one power. So why would I put my belief in two powers, right? So it's the same thing with like working with earthy energies or lower powers or whatever, which I, you know, again, don't ask me about that because I don't even know much about it, you know. All I know is what I know, which is what I share with you for the most part. So when it comes to all that stuff, like you can derive information from any source, right? But why would you go to anything that is not of the highest quality or of the highest caliber or of the truth, right? So if you want to know something, or if you want, I don't know, like what people really want, you know, like for me it was knowledge. I was on a pursuit of truth, you know. So if you want to know the truth, you go to the truth, right? And there's some things also that are important that we don't know. Like it's important for us to sometimes not know certain things. There have been times where I have tried in my own life to intuit certain things, and I have like really begged God even to, God is I am state, by the way, which that's a different video. I'll talk about that in another video, but because God is within. So when I say that I've begged God, you know, like there have been times where I really, really wanted to know something. And so I would study, I would feel it out, I would intuit it out. I would sit for days, weeks, months, whatever, just to find the answer, just to figure it out, okay? And you know, I would use all types of, I would like the, for certain specific circumstances in my life, I even tried to like even like go against like fate, you know, and like trick the the way things have been going, and I just want to say that things will end up the way that they need to end up. And if there's something that you are not supposed to know right now, it does not matter how skilled of an intuitive you are, it doesn't matter how psychic you are, it doesn't matter how, you know, all of our power comes from God, from God. And if God does not want you to know something, maybe it's for your protection, maybe it's for your joy in the future, maybe it's so that certain things can unfold in a certain way, it will be blocked from you. The information will not be given to you. It doesn't mean that you are, you know, being cut off from your own gifts in any way. It just means that in some supernatural way, your gifts are being used to protect yourself, you know? So we have that ability as well. And we're not even aware of like just how, I'm telling you guys, I say this all the time. We're not aware of how strong we are, how psychic we are, how powerful we are. We protect ourselves all the time from things. We have layers of consciousness that operate out of our own like eyesight. Like we don't even know that they're operating, but they go out and they fetch us things and they bring things back. This is our law of attraction. Like we are the universe, right? So these layers of protection, these layers of us, we could say, of who we are, they go out, they fetch us things, they bring things back, they protect us from certain experiences, they block off information, they reveal certain information, you know. So we are extremely powerful. Now our power actually increases when we tap into our power, because when we tap into our power, then we can quantify it, right? And so when you know something exists, you can practice it, and you can put a name to it, you can define it, right? And so when you define it, you know, you can measure it. And so that's the same thing with our own power, with our own manifestation ability, our own, you know, whatever. But it has to do more so with practice, because to define is to limit too, right? So you don't want to limit your own power. So what a lot of practitioners or self-studiers or self-mastery teachers will do is they will learn so much about themselves, and then they will get so involved in like, I call it Rahu Ketu, because if you know astrology, you know what I'm talking about. So basically you go far right in one direction, but there needs to be balance, and you will feel that. So you're gonna go a little bit to the left, right? So you're gonna balance yourself out. So somebody who is very, very well versed in self-mastery will get bored because they're in a material body, and they're going to want to experience material things again, and they're going to kind of come back to, you know, normal life, and they're going to want to, okay, maybe I want a relationship, maybe I want like a business with a lot of money, and then they get like consumed by Rahu. This is Rahu, and I say Rahu Ketu because Rahu is the material world, Rahu is matter, okay, and Ketu is spirituality. And if you don't know, they're the polar opposites. And if you don't know who Rahu and Ketu are, you could just look it up. Basically, they are the invisible poles that exist in the sky. They're magnetic forces, essentially. And there's a whole Leela, there's a whole story to their existence, but they're opposites. One is the head, one is the tail, okay, of this like dragon that you should look it up. But so, you know, that's the thing. For somebody who is dedicated to their path, it's only natural that you're going to want to like balance your dedication out with like reward, you know. And this happened to me, so I'll give you some personal I'll give you an anecdote. So basically I went really really deep into everything I discussed with you, like self-mastery basically, and diving extremely deep into the spiritual world, like completely, so much so that it actually like harmed me in some ways. That's another story. But so I went far right, and then I started wanting things. That's the thing. Desire was born, right? So I killed off all my desire, and I burned a lot of karma too through self-work and self-study and healing, you know. Then I started desiring things. So then you move a little bit left on the scale, right? Then what is born from desire is suffering. So then I suffered and I needed to heal from that. So I went back to healing once again. And then, you know, you have to survive in this world. So I had to come back out of my shell again, out of like hermit mode, so to speak, and come back into the real world and suffer some more. You know what I mean? And so there's always this balance. And I've learned that it's best to balance yourself. Like the faster that you can do it earlier in the day, the better you are throughout your life. So throughout the day, I oscillate between like these extremes as quickly as I can. Like throughout the day, like I'll get things done early in the day, you know, whatever. And then at night I'm here. Like I'm not on this planet, you know. So I've also set up systems for myself and my life and my business, which I'd love to talk about in another video in more depth, where I've been able to stay here as much as possible. So I, you know, live a very specific life. Like I live a life that is very clean, that is very different from the way a lot of people live. And I have certain things that I do that I know that I will not change, you know. So I also have like a purpose and a mission and all that stuff. So, you know, that's how I am, you know. And my life has always been quite unique and no one's life is ordinary to begin with, of course, right? But yeah, so, you know, I'm like very serious about this life being my last. Like I do not want, like, if you don't believe in liberation, I don't know why you're here. Number one, you know, because this channel is to help guide you towards liberation, right? And joy, inner joy, and ultimately spiritual bliss, right? So that's my goal, to eventually like not have to take birth again. So, you know, I need to maximize like all the things like while I'm here. I want to do a lot of things for people and for the world. You know, and I'm just a human being. I'm just a girl. I'm just a person. I don't necessarily know that I will be able to do all of the things I want to do for people, but you know, if you shoot for the stars, you're gonna land on the moon. So that's just kind of my reasoning. I also have like personal desires. I'm very artistic, and so, you know, I have small personal desires here and there that are very minute. Like I want to sing, like so I sing, you know, like I take care of it, you know, like quickly. So other than that, like I've really worked on not having that many desires, you know, for myself at least, just because that keeps me free, that keeps me grounded, it keeps me present, it keeps me on my path of wanting to like do things for people. And I know that, you know, there needs to be a balance there, and I am also learning that balance of serving self versus serving others. And I've realized that the self has to come first, you know. Self with a capital S. I cut myself. Speaking of self, I cut myself, and it hurts. Anyway, but yeah, and you know, everything that I am, like, it's taken me a long time to accept the person that I am, because I have just so many different like people within me. Like I'm very like I'm everything, and it was very hard at one point to accept that I am so many different personalities, you know. Truly, like I'm this like person that can teach, but then at the same time I'm very childish, like really. And I'm very like strong, and I can be like very feminine, and but then also very masculine, and then sensual but innocent, you know. Like, so these different extremes are not normal to the naked eye, like to someone else's eye. So I've had to marry like everybody within me, like everything within me, you know. And so I love who I am so much. Like I really do love and protect who I am, without, you know, needing to do anything for it. But it's just like it's within me. I'm able to really like protect myself from even my own negative thoughts, you know. And that came with time, of course. um and I'd love to do a video on that too. We have so many video ideas from this one video. But yes, and I also protect other people within my mind. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's like um I had to hide for so long that I am psychic and that I'm quite intuitive. And so, you know, upon meeting somebody or even just meeting someone online, you know, I don't even have to meet them in person to just kind of like know who they are and feel them out. And I'm able to see people for who they are, right? So I can kind of tell, like, okay, this is what has happened in their past lives, in this lifetime. Like I can kind of get or intuit like a scope of events, you know? It's crazy. And I can also feel out what they're dealing with right now, what burdens they have in their life right now, what self-confidence issues they have and why, what they need to work on, what kind of business they would be good at starting. Like I can see through people. I can even hear or feel, sometimes it's both, their dark thoughts or their negative thoughts about themselves and others. And yeah, it's a lot. So that level of intuition comes with responsibility. Like I have to always give all information to God and protect people, because people are children, and I have seen that, you know. When I can see somebody clearly, you know, I can see that this is a child that, you know, needs help. You know what I mean? Like that's how I view people. And you know, I can't talk about this really, but I'm talking about it here. But you know, I've never talked about this before because to some people it may be kind of offensive, or you know, people don't want someone else reading their energy like that, right? But what I have been given is in order for me to help people in any way that I can. And so YouTube and me posting is the way that I do that. So it's like more fair, you know, and it's like more, and of course I do one-on-one sessions and stuff like that, and to people that actually come to me for help, I can help them, but I will not help somebody that does not want my help, because then I'm hurting them, you know what I mean? So it's like wrong, it's like disrespectful for me to do that. So yeah, so I've been given the honor of being able to kind of like see through people just a little bit, and if we align, then I usually do pursue like a friendship, at least in real life, or something like that. And if we don't align, or if I cannot handle keeping up a connection, then I won't, because again, I'm very protective of myself, and I ultimately like need to have a lot of energy reserved for not just myself, but my projects and my businesses and what I do and my purpose ultimately. So yeah, I know this is a kind of long-winded video, and we dove into a lot of different things here. I'm not gonna edit this. I cannot afford to. I'm just tired of editing a little bit. So I will not be editing this video, but yeah, I had a good time explaining to you guys a little bit about my personal philosophies, you know, what I do in terms of intuitive work, what my journey has been so far in terms of my own path, you know, how I see God and how God works through my life. And I just want to say that if you resonate with anything that I said in this video, you're not alone. And for a long time, I felt so alone on my path and on my journey, because I was like, I can't talk, like what therapist can understand this, you know, like what therapist can understand like energy work, you know, or somebody who's studying energy and sees through matter, you know, like it's just not a normal medical like approach or approach to, you know, someone's mind. Like it's just not like a thing. So I felt quite alone for a long time, and there were some very dark moments that I've been through in my life that are like way too many to count, way too drastic to maybe even have happened, you know. Like, however, I do believe that, you know, suffering leads to eventually being able to overcome the lessons that we have to learn, because that's what suffering is. So I've overcome a lot, and that's why I have such a huge need to set people free spiritually. Like I need to tell people where they can improve and how they can help themselves, and that they're not alone. And I need to tell people that they can do anything that they want energetically and physically, and that they can switch their mind in just a split second and become an entirely different personality to deal with whatever it is they need to deal with, you know, which I've had to do multiple times in my life. So, you know, of course, there are times where sometimes I'll view someone else's struggle and I'll be like, I've been through that 30 times and more. And so I didn't even react negatively, like, you know, so I have to kind of remember that strength is built, and I've spent a lot of time building my own strength, and so it's my duty to help people that may not be as spiritually strong. So I have to stick to compassion. Like, that is my personal lesson that I'm always being reminded of, is okay, see my compassion, see my compassion, see my compassion, see my love, right? Instead of like getting irked by you know, things that may not have as strong an energy as I carry, or people that may not have as strong of an energy as I do, because I have quite a strong energy that is meant to be healing. It's not meant to be destructive. But sometimes if I'm not on 10 with my spiritual practices, it can become destructive to myself and never to others, because I keep all my energy within, especially if it's negative. But yeah, I'm a very extreme person. So it's for the greater good. It has to be. And so that's like one of my duties. And I think I've been given this strong energy for the purpose, for a purpose, right? So you know, that's why I'm here. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I love you so much. There's been a squirrel that has been like running around. She's running around. She's like, I love fat squirrels. I love fat animals so much. Like, it just means they're doing well, you know? I saw a fat bird earlier today, and like, I derive so much happiness from simple things in life. Like, it's the simple things that just get me, you know? And make me very happy. And like hawks fly, like there are two hawks in the air, and I'm like just so happy at that, you know. And yeah, I've lived many lives, like truly. And like sometimes I feel, this video is ending soon, but sometimes I feel very old. Like my soul is quite, especially because this is my last life and I'm aware of that. So like I feel as though I have seen my life, like you know, because I've had intuitive flashes of like the future and whatever, like whatever. So I've seen into the future for myself and for others as well. But for me in particular, sometimes I just feel very old, you know. I feel like, but then I still have a lot of life left. So it's just insane to think that I'm not like 95. Like that to me is like an insane concept, because I feel that I am. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? But then at the same time, I like to keep it young and like fresh and like at least, you know, on the outside, and I like to have fun. I love to have fun. I'm a very much a fun enthusiast, you know. I'm very much a fun enthusiast, and then I also work very hard. So I kind of like try to stick to balance in all spheres of my life. Okay, this video is ending. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much. This was such a long yap. Oh my god. Jeez. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. Shout out Char for this prompt. Love you very much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace. If you have any video ideas, let me know in the comments below. We just came up with like 15. But if you have any more, I'd love to hear your ideas. I love you guys very much. Thank you for being here. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.